road to Jerusalem. After Hattin, Crusader power collapsed. One city after another surrendered to Salahuddin's forces. Finally, the gates of Jerusalem stood before him. The world held its breath. The Crusaders had taken Jerusalem in 1099 with a massacre, killing thousands of Muslims and Jews. People feared that Salahuddin would do the same in revenge. But here, Salahuddin's true greatness shone. When Jerusalem surrendered in October 1187, Salahuddin entered not as a destroyer, but as a liberator. He ordered his soldiers to protect the citizens. No blood was shed. Christians who wanted to leave were allowed to do so safely, and those who wished to stay were protected. Churches were respected, and holy sites were preserved. Salahuddin even allowed Jewish families, who had been banished by the Crusaders, to return and live peacefully in the city. His mercy amazed even his enemies. Across Europe, people spoke of the Muslim leader who showed more honor than many Christian kings. Salahuddin's character. What made Salahuddin so admired was not only his victories but his character. He was deeply religious, often praying at night and fasting during the day. He gave charity generously and cared for the poor. Despite ruling over vast lands, he owned very little personally. At his death, it was said that he left behind no gold or treasures, only his sword, his horse, and a reputation for justice. He believed power was a trust from God, not a tool for personal wealth. Salahuddin also respected knowledge. He supported schools, scholars, and hospitals. He encouraged learning not just of religion, but also of science and medicine. He knew that a strong society was built not only by soldiers, but also by educated minds. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Your support inspires us to create even better videos. After the liberation of Jerusalem. When Salahuddin liberated Jerusalem in 1187, the news shook the Christian world. In Europe, people could hardly believe that the city, which had been under Crusader rule for almost 90 years, was once again in Muslim hands. Churches rang their bells, priests called for new crusades, and kings began preparing for war. This marked the beginning of the Third Crusade, one of the most famous chapters in history. For Salahuddin, however, the victory was not the end. It was the beginning of a larger responsibility. He now had to defend Jerusalem against the most powerful armies Europe could send. He knew the storm was coming, but he trusted in God, his soldiers, and his people. The call of the Third Crusade. In Europe, the fall of Jerusalem was seen as a disaster. Pope Gregory VIII declared a new crusade, urging kings and nobles to march east. Among those who responded were three great rulers: Richard the Lionheart of England, Philip II of France, and Emperor Frederick Barbarossa of Germany. The most famous of these was Richard, known for his courage and military skill. Stories of his bravery made him a legend in Europe. Soon, the stage was set for one of the greatest encounters in medieval history: Salahuddin and Richard, two lions of different faiths, face to face. The clash with Richard the Lionheart. Richard's army arrived by sea, capturing the city of Acre after a long siege. Salahuddin fought fiercely to stop them, but faced difficulties. The Crusaders had strong ships, heavy weapons, and disciplined knights. Yet Salahuddin never gave up. He harassed their supply lines, ambushed their forces, and kept his soldiers motivated with faith. The two leaders never met in person, but they communicated through envoys and messages. What amazed both Christians and Muslims was the respect they had for each other. Though they were enemies in battle, they admired each other's bravery and honor. Richard once fell ill, and Salahuddin sent him fresh fruit, ice, and medicine as a gesture of kindness. On another occasion, Richard's horse was killed in battle, and Salahuddin sent him 2 new horses so he could continue fighting with dignity. These moments showed that even in war, humanity and chivalry could shine. Want more? Visit the channel for the next part and subscribe for upcoming stories.